YouTube, we will continue. And we are on. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, we do not have long left, and I can guarantee that people are not ready. So let me just start with some benign facts for you guys before we get into this. There's one more payday before Christmas, and we've got the budget, Rachel Reeves' dreaded budget at the end of this month. So I can guarantee that people are going to have less money to spend. I don't think we're going to have more money to spend at the end of this. Now, just let me contrast this before we get on to what's happening in the United Kingdom. An article that, well, not an article, a post that Donald Trump posted earlier on his Truth Social. In fact, I'll share this with you guys. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, we're triple streaming this morning. We are on YouTube, we are on X, and we are on TikTok. So you guys on TikTok, as soon as my coffee, that's what I think I'm going to do now, guys, okay? As soon as my my hot drink, thank you so much for the gifts, Danny. As soon as my hot drink gets to a drinking temperature, I'm going to close you guys down on TikTok, and then I will just be streaming with you guys on YouTube and X. The reason I do that is if I get restricted all the time. I'm going to share this screen with you guys that are watching on YouTube. And I just want to, share this because I've said, these are tropes that I've said for quite a long time. So this is what Donald Trump posted the other day. People that are against tariffs are fools. We are now the richest, most respected country in the world with almost no inflation and a record stock market. 401ks are highest ever. I don't know what 401k is, guys. I have no idea, but, I guess it's a good thing that it's high. We are taking in trillions of dollars and will soon begin paying down our enormous debt. 37 trillion record investment in the United States, plants and factories going up all over the place. A dividend of at least £2,000 per person will be paid to everyone. That's not included. They're not going to pay that to people who have high incomes. So can you imagine that, can you imagine if somebody was dealing with our economy as good as that? And this all comes down basically, guys, to, they're just taxing people, in the United Kingdom. Rachel Reeves in this country, we are just being taxed into absolute oblivion. Now, if you look at Donald Trump's, what they're doing, they're saying, right, we don't want to tax the people in the United States. We want to get money from other countries. And guys, I'm not repeating what Donald Trump's saying. He's repeating some of the things I've been saying for a long time. You only get rich as a country by taking another country's money. There's nothing else. There's nothing else. You can't tax these people and tax those people and then put the taxes there. It doesn't work. It's all a fugazi. It doesn't exist. It doesn't mean anything. All right. The only way to become rich is to take someone else's money. That is it, guys. Period. Imagine in your house, wherever you live, saying, right, I'm going to make right, girls, I'm going to make to your kids, right, kids, I'm going to make you rich. How are you going to do that, Dad? Right, I'm going to give you your pocket money, yeah, and then I'm going to take half of it back, okay? What's that for? Well, that's tax. And what are you going to do with that half of the pocket money, Dad? I'm going to give it to next door neighbours' kids. Why? They haven't done anything. Yeah, but that's because I'm nice. Yeah, Dad, we don't want you to be nice. We want our house to be rich. We want nice things. We want to go on holiday. We want to have a nice car. We want to have a new washing machine. We want to have a new tumble dryer. We want those things. Not next door neighbor. They can do their own shit. Can put that in the macro. Put that in the micro, sorry. Let's bring it down to what's happening in this country right now. I'm jumping into my I'm cross jumping here a bit, guys. Okay, I'm going on a bit of a side quest. Right, this is literally what's happening in the United Kingdom right now. You're giving it imagine this in the house. You give your kids their pocket money on a, I don't know, Sunday or whatever day you give it them. I don't know, a quid, a fiver. I don't know what pocket money is these days. So you give them their pocket money, and they say, you right, Here's the money for you. Here's the money for you. Right. Okay, I've got it. Right. And then you say, right, now I need to charge you tax. What do you mean tax? Oh, I just need. Then you take half of the pocket money off them and you give it to next door neighbor's kids. And your kids go, Dad, why are you giving next door neighbor's kids money? And you say, oh, because their mum and dad don't work and they don't give them any pocket money. And your kids are going, yeah, but that's next door neighbor's kids. And me going, yeah. And then when next door neighbor's kids have spent it, you take, oh, right. Number 42, their kids need more money, right? Here's your pocket money, girls. Right, you need to give me more of your pocket money because we're going to give it over there. And they're like, but Daddy, we've got nothing to left for ourselves now. We say, well, we're gonna make you rich. Doesn't work. Does not work, ladies and gentlemen. The only way that a family gets rich is by taking money off something external. The only way that a country gets rich is you take money from another country. That's what it looks like Donald Trump's done over in America. And from the article I just shared with you guys, it looks like the Americans are giving everybody in the United States a little Brucey bonus of $2,000. And you can imagine what that's going to do to the people you can imagine what that's going to do to the US economy. People are going to get this $2,000 bonus. They're going to go, oh, wow, we're doing so well. We're going to go out and we're going to spend that. That's going to be money in shops, money spent in supermarkets, money spent at restaurants, money spent at theme parks. And that's going to keep turning that economy. And then more people are going to get more money. So there's going to be more. Honestly, guys, what a fantastic way they're dealing with it. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, what we have to look forward to. Oh, let me get the chat on. Hang on. Sorry, I didn't have the chat on. But what we have to look forward to in the United Kingdom is nothing good, and that's my speculation, analysis, and opinion. Also, there's a lot of people. I'm just watching this, guys. There's this far-right bishop. So this is an article from Sky News. So apparently there's a far-right bishop accused of corrupting Christianity. His name is Kerrion Dewar, I think. Yeah, Kerrion Dewar, described as the far-right bishop on mass baptism as he explores how Christian nationalism is on the rise in the United Kingdom. And it absolutely is, guys. It's absolutely on the rise. People really are uniting. People are uniting. And I never thought I'd see this in my lifetime. I never thought I'd see this in my lifetime. So there's a raise in these, mass baptisms, and people are like going to the sea, and he's baptizing them in the sea. And I think that's a great thing. I think it's probably the best place to do it. What else have we got? Right. Let me come on to the chat, guys, and then I'll, and then we'll talk about what's coming at the end of the month. Right. Where's the chat? Right, listen, guys, we are triple streaming this morning. You guys very soon are going to be closed down. Let me feel my coffee. It's still not hot enough to drink, but when it gets cool enough, when it gets cool enough to drink, then I will be turning you guys off. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Right, Nikki is saying, I'm stocking up on my red wine before the budget because she's bound to hammer my small luxury. Yeah, I think I pulled 60 bottles of red wine. I think I've got 60 bottles, or maybe just a bit less, 60 bottles of red wine. Daniel Payne is saying, wow, $2,000 each. How did he manage that? He managed that by not taxing the people of the United States and saying, look, if you live in the United States, we ain't going to tax you. The money you earn, the money you keep. We're going to get our money from other countries, because ultimately, guys, and I don't know how many, I don't know how many times I've said this, but it's the only way, guys. That is the only way that you can get, if there's somebody on here, somebody who's an economist, who's been to, got like 6 degrees in fiscal stimulation and 9 degrees in modern monetary theory. Tell me how a country can get rich by taxing itself. Tiani, am I saying that right? I hope I am. Tiani, I think, is saying a 401k is a retirement savings plan in the United States. Right, okay, I didn't know that, thank you. Jenna Lorna is saying, I keep seeing in TikTok that Americans' SNAP benefits have been stopped, though, because of the shutdown. I don't know what that would mean. I don't know what a SNAP benefit would be. I don't know what that is, a SNAP benefit. Is that like something you get given like quickly? Like an emergency or something? I don't know. I don't know what that is. Slim, I think Slim's saying we are a country run by a bunch of I don't know what that word is. It starts with C. There's 5 letters and it ends in TS. Right, hang on. Let me. Googlino is saying, how is Reeves going to raid stocks and shares? Well, look, guys. First of all, I don't know what's coming. I can only speculate what's coming. I would say, and this is, look, guys, this is me speculating off the top of my head. People are saying this is going to happen. People are saying that's going to happen. Genuinely, I don't know. I don't even think that Rachel Reeves knows what's happening just yet. But what I would say is tobacco, alcohol, fuel, as in fuel, petrol, diesel, those things are all a given. Why? Well, tobacco, and I don't smoke, so it doesn't affect me. Tobacco, yeah, we want to bring down the NHS. I don't know. Too many people are going into hospital with yada, 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 lung diseases and whatever. And that's true, So we want to put tax upon smoking to stop people wanting to smoke. Okay, fine. Alcohol. Now, alcohol's a tricky one for me, guys. Because it's not just the alcohol. Obviously, we want people to become more healthy. We want people to stop, stop binge drinking, and it's causing obesity, yada, yada, yada. What that is, the knock-on effect, the extra effect that putting tax on alcohol is. And look, guys, let me keep caveating this. I don't know what's coming in this budget, but tobacco, alcohol, and fuel, I do feel that those 3 things are an absolute given. Absolute given. But when you put that tax on alcohol, what that does is that will be detrimental to small pubs, all pubs actually, not just small pubs. That's going to be detrimental to pubs, restaurants, places right now that really are struggling to keep those doors open. So that's going to be key for me, because when you put, like, I don't know, another 5 pence or 10 pence charge on per pint of beer or whatever it is, that then gets transferred to the customer, and the customers are already getting squeezed to the knees with the, going to restaurants. So that's where it's going to be. And I don't know. I mean, I went to a restaurant. I think it was like, it's probably last year. And the restaurant, as soon as you walked in, they say, look, we don't have an alcohol license. So if you want to go around the corner and get yourself some cans of beer or whatever, that's totally fine. So we were all right. Okay. So we went around, and it was a pretty cool restaurant. It was in Barnsley. So I think that could be a way that restaurants are going. But how do pubs go that way? Like, as a pub, where do you go with that? Like, as the price of alcohol's going up. And let's not forget that the pubs as well. I think I saw statistics saying there's like 1 pub a day shutting. So what that's going to do is that's going to have the bigger effect, and that's going to drive more people into unemployment. And when those pubs shut because of the taxes, because of the raises, because of the national insurance contribution, that's going to drive more. That's going to be, now we're going to have more people searching for less jobs. And then we've obviously got fuel. I'm talking about petrol, diesel, maybe even LPG. The petrol and diesel, they're the main ones, guys, okay? So petrol and diesel, we want everybody to we want net zero, we want to be green, so we're going to put another tax on, petrol, we're going to put another tax on diesel, and, to encourage people to go electric. Now, it's going to be very, very interesting, because I've also heard that the government are going to put a pay per mile. So if you've got an electric car, you're going to have to pay per mile as well. So we said it was coming, guys. We said it was coming. But look, guys, I will be clear. I don't know what's coming at this budget. I can only speculate. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think the government know what's coming either. Right, guys, I am going to jump to the bottom. So I do apologize if I'm missing anybody's comments on YouTube. Donna Hook is saying, taxes are an unnecessary component of a successful economy. When the revenues are invested wisely in areas that enhance overall productivity, the standard of living, yep, wisely. Yeah, I agree, I absolutely agree. It's ridiculous at the moment. The taxes, they're not helping anyone. Like, taxes are forcing people into poverty right now. Alexander is saying, and still, Alexander Cameron is saying, and it's £1.89 for a pint in Wetherspoons. I've not seen that one. Dimension Geezer is saying, capitalism has its merits, but it's no way to run a country. Right, guys, listen, I don't want to. Okay, so what we have at the moment in the United Kingdom, we don't have capitalism. We have late stage capitalism. I don't want to go into that right now. I'll touch on it. So late stage capitalism would be where all the money, all the resources have gone naturally to large oligarchs, basically. And it's very difficult for you to start a business. So I agree, we don't have capitalism in the United Kingdom. We have late stage capitalism. They're very different. And Jenna is saying SNAP benefits are for food, apparently for Americans on low income, and they are able to claim SNAP benefits like a lot. Yes, I saw that. I've seen this. All these fat Americans. Listen, guys, I'm not like dissing you if you're a fat American. If you're American, I'm dissing you if you're a fat American. I've seen all these fat Americans crying, saying they're going to starve, and I'm thinking, you've got at least a couple of months on you. Beats and Tapes is saying we've had the smoking ban for almost 20 years now. Wow, I can remember when that came out. That makes me feel old. Pubs didn't seem to do better. See, with the smoking ban, they didn't, they just banned the smoking inside, and then you had like these little smoking huts or whatever outside, and so it didn't really stop people going to the pub, but if you take out alcohol now from a pub, what are they going to the pub for? What is it? You bring your own beers? Yeah, we've got a pub, you bring your own beers and you can consume your own beers on, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Right, listen, guys, there's lots of comments. I'm not going to be able to get them all, guys. I'm just gonna let me start, guys. So I want to talk about what's coming, because literally we have one more payday before the fat man comes. And I don't think people are ready for what's coming. I really don't. I mean, I guess you guys are, because I've been harping on. Oh, hang on, guys. I think my coffee is almost ready. My coffee's almost ready, guys. So for you guys on TikTok, I will be closing you down very soon and jumping over to YouTube. I'll be streaming on YouTube and X. I'm the Real Raven 1 on YouTube, and I'm the Real Raven 1 on X. And Martin Quinn is saying we will be banning Santa Claus. Right, so I'm going to read this now from The Guardian. I'm not going to share this because there's like loads of ads all over the place. This is an article from The Guardian. I think it was yesterday. Oh, I can't. Oh, sorry, Saturday the 8th of November. So this is an article from The Guardian. How might Rachel Reeves increase income tax, and what does that mean for you? The budget could involve a range of rises. Here's how they would stack up for different levels of income. So here we go. Right. So if you earn, hang on. Right. So if you earn £25,000 A 1p raise would put your tax up to 3,605, and a 2p raise would put your tax up to 3,729. So that's like an increase of like almost £250. So 2 pence would put, so she's going to come out and she's going to say this is a 2 pence rise, but that's going to be like almost like 250 quid a year for somebody who's on a relatively low income. 35,000, if you earn £35,000 a year, that would go from, I'm just going to do the 2 pence rise, guys, okay? So if you earn up to 35,000, if you earn £35,000, your current tax would be 6,280, and that would go up to 6,729. If you earn 55 grand a year, your current tax is 12,500, and that would go up to, it starts to get massive now, guys, 13,391. If you earn 75 grand, your tax would go from 20,000 to 22,000. If you earn 100 grand, your tax would go from 31 grand to 33 grand. That is a phenomenal amount of money, guys, okay? So if you earn 100 grand a year, which is not that much in today's world, if you earn 100 grand a year, 33 grand goes to the government for nothing, for absolute nothing. And you know, if you get the sack, that's it. If you get the sack, you're not getting any of that money back. If you, oh yeah, but I'm homeless now. Yeah, well, tough. You should have kept your job. It's just an absolute mess, guys. It's just an absolute mess. And people are rightly terrified of what's coming, guys. People are going to be, I certainly am. If the government wanted to change income tax, the most straightforward option would be to add 1p to the basic rate of tax, increasing it from 20% to 21%, says Laura Suter, the Director of Personal Finance at AJ Bill. That would cost taxpayers up to £377 a year in extra tax, with anyone earning 50 grand or more facing the maximum hit. So I think it's coming to everyone now. They said they're not going to tax, but what people got to understand is this income, if it happens, and I don't know if it's going to happen, but this income tax, it's just happened. This income tax, this is what the government said they wouldn't do. They said they're not going to tax the working people, but it looks like the tax is coming on the working people, guys. It looks like it's coming. There's going to be tax raises across the board. They're my 3 things that I'm saying is coming, guys, okay? Go on. Cigarettes, alcohol, and fuel. Those 3 things I don't see how those things can't go up. And I'm not saying go out and buy those things now. What I'm saying is they're probably going to cost a lot more at the end of the month than they do right now. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let me get some chat and then we will continue. Why can't the US government just forgive? That's it. Do you know what? Yeah, why can't the US government just forgive all the debts? So I don't know. They say the economy would collapse, but I don't know how it would collapse, because if you think about it, a bank just prints money and then lends it you, and then you have to pay interest on that money that doesn't exist. So, the banking system, if you put 100, just on a really fundamental level, if you give a bank £100, that bank can lend that money out to someone else. So you give a bank £100, right? Okay, keep that money safe. The bank go, okay, I've got £100 now in my safe or whatever. And then somebody else comes in and says, can I lend £50? And they say, yes, you can lend £50, but I want £55 back. So they lend them that money and then they give them £55 back. But the thing is, the banks can lend, I don't know what it is, but they can lend an order of magnitude more than the money they've got in store. So say they've got £100, they can lend out, I don't know, £500 or something. I don't know what it is, guys. Somebody's going to have to but I know it's something like that. So now they're lending people they're borrowing people money that doesn't exist and charging them interest on the money that didn't exist in the first place. So yes, I totally agree. There's a lot of money that's getting, generated that I think a lot of it should be written off. Yeah. So there's people floating about this as well. People are saying that Rachel Reeves is going to do an exit tax. I can remember somebody on the internet, I can't remember who it was. I think it might have even been like Andrew Tate or someone saying that, in Andrew Tate's way, and you think the government are not going to tax people leaving the country? The government will tax people that are leaving this country. That's why you need to get your money in crypto and move to Dubai. I love Andrew Tate and his brother. I think they're cool. Or was I going with that? Yeah. So it does look like there could be an exit tax on as well. So if you leave the United Kingdom, I think they're saying they want like 20% of like a year's earnings if you want to leave the United Kingdom. Like, have you any idea what that's going to do to the economy? Like, and as Googlino was saying, like, can you imagine it now? Because people with money are not going to pay. That's just the reality. They will find a loophole. They will exploit that loophole and go, yeah, see you later, Rachel. And they'll be gone. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd. So I agree, if this exit tax does happen, yeah, it's going to be the final. You know what? I would say one further than that. I would say it's going to be the final nail in Britain's coffin. Absolutely. The final nail in Britain's coffin. James is saying, can't believe people actually bought electric cars. No, I can't either. And I don't know how long you guys have been following me, but like one of my first videos, I was saying, look, guys, we're going to look back at these electric cars in like, I don't know, 10 years, 10 years or whatever, 20 years. We're going to look back and we're going to say, yeah, what were we all thinking? The future of automobiles, the future of, hang on, let me get this right because I don't want this to bite me back in. Okay, the future of private cars is hydrogen. It's hydrogen. I get there is a case use for haulage companies using electric. There's like long, delivery drivers. There is a case use for those guys using electric. But as far as normal everyday people are concerned, it's hydrogen. It's going to either be hydrogen internal combustion engines, or that may even be converted diesel engines, or it's going to be hydrogen fuel cells, and that will be the fuel of the future. And you heard it today. Right, guys, I'm going to jump down. There's quite a lot of comments. There's quite a lot of comments. Diamond Slim. Hang on. Diamond Geezer is saying we were in an industrial superpower and now we're exporting data only and insurance scams. Alexander Cameron is saying the working people ain't going to be happy, so they'll hopefully rally. Right, I'm going to come on to this Donald Trump thing in a minute, guys, okay? I am going to come on to this Donald Trump thing in a minute, but, like, have you seen what the BBC... Look, and I get a lot of, when I'm sharing an article, like, if there's some breaking news, I will share it from the BBC. It turns out the BBC now has been... the BBC has been caught... Well, let me just read this article actually here from The Guardian. So it turns out the BBC has been caught doctoring. Hang on. The BBC has been caught doctoring a Donald Trump speech. Now, look, guys, I believe that we've only found out about this because Donald Trump is huge. I mean, he's like 6'2" or whatever, and he's a really powerful man. I want to put it to you guys, and I don't know what the answer to this is, obviously, but I want to put it to you guys. I want to ask you guys a question. Do you think that the BBC have altered any more footage? Do you think the BBC have altered any more news articles, or do we just think that Donald Trump article was the only one and that's it? They've just altered one. Do you guys think that's what do we think? I'm not speculating, guys. I'm asking a question. Do you think that this Donald Trump Martin is saying we all pay the TV licenses, they get all the mega wages and skankers? I don't know what skankers is. So that's a question I'm asking you guys, okay? Do you think that the Donald Trump video that was doctored, and it was doctored in a really bad way, guys, like really bad. They didn't just like cut it at the last bit or start it halfway through or play it out of context. It was doctored really bad, guys. It was doctored really bad. But it turns out people are all resigning in the BBC over it. But listen, guys, don't worry. Keep paying your BBC. Keep paying your license fee because it's illegal. Is it illegal not to pay it? I don't even know. But yeah, so when I come on, and this is how wild media is. This is how crazy media is, guys. Okay. If I was to tell you the truth and it was counter to what the BBC were saying, I would be done for fake news, even though the BBC are blatantly lying. In this instance, for example, do you see how that works? So if I was to come up and say, no, that, especially on you guys on TikTok, the TikTok algorithm would absolutely dizzle me swizzle. I promise you guys, I'm boiling in here. The TikTok algorithm would absolutely dizzle my swizzle. So do you see how wild it is that you're saying things that you know are untrue? Because you know if you say the things that are true, you'll get taken down for fake news. You see how crazy that is, guys, with censorship? This is why you have to, while I'm on TikTok, I have to, jump around. And in fact, my coffee's ready. Right, listen, you guys on TikTok, you guys have been fantastic. You're all good looking. You're not as good looking as the guys on YouTube, but don't feel bad about that. Jump over to YouTube. That's totally fine. I'm going to close you guys down now on TikTok. You guys have been fantastic. I will be on the live stream later if you're not jumping over to YouTube. I'm the Real Raven 1 on YouTube and I'm the Real Raven 1 on X. And if you're not jumping over, guys, I will be back on tonight at 8. Anyway, I'll turn you guys off now. I think, yeah, we're off. Right, yeah, we're off. Let me get that down because I was getting messages while I was streaming. Oh. Right, what's that from? Right, okay, right, that works. Right, I've got to do a phone call soon. Hang on, let me see when this is. Somebody just said, Sean, are you ready? Can you do a phone call? Let me see what time he's talking. So in 6 minutes ago, he said 1 hour. So, okay, I've got plenty of time. Plenty of time, ladies and gentlemen. Right, and hello, you guys that have jumped over from you guys that have jumped over from YouTube. But yes, I agree. BBC are crackers. It looks like they are a fake news outlet, but we can't call them fake news, or we'll get banned ourselves. And that's how wild it is. That really is how wild it is. Donna's got a lovely Christmas tree up, guys. Donna's saying she's not looking forward to the future, but she's got a lovely Christmas tree up. Listen, guys, we have got one more payday before Christmas. Get ready. We've got one more payday before Christmas. Can you imagine? Look, guys, I don't mean to be the harbinger of bad news, but can you imagine this right now, okay? Can you imagine how crap everybody's going to feel when Rachel Reeves gives this budget on the and she gives this budget on the, I think it's the 26th, and then it dawns on people that there's less money, they're going to get paid less, the price of everything's going up, they're getting taxed more, and they've only got one more payday before Christmas. How crap is everything going to be, guys? And Lisu is saying, I jumped over, wanted to be with the good-looking people. All the good-looking people are on here, guys. All the good-looking people are on here. Right, listen, guys, I'm gonna run to the toilet because I had 2 energy drinks before I got on here. I'm gonna run to the toilet. I'll be back, and then we'll continue. And I am back. Thanks for sticking around, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, guys, if you're on, have I done this yet already? If you guys are on right now, can you do me a real big favor? Hit that like, follow, subscribe, bell notification, all those things that help the channel grow, ladies and gentlemen, because I really do appreciate it. Right. Oh, hang on a minute. Donna is saying Labour could suffer a Lib Dem style election punishment if they raise taxes. You see, you've got to I didn't hear a flush. If it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. Hang on. Right, so Donna's saying, yeah, look, what you've got to understand is nobody can be this bad. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. Like a chimpanzee. Like if you had a chimpanzee, you know, if you had a chimpanzee and you had a chimpanzee in government and somebody was saying to the chimpanzee, right, these are our options. What's a good chimpanzee name? Ralph. I think Ralph's a good chimpanzee name. So if you went up to Ralph, the chimpanzee, and said, right, Ralph, these 3 envelopes here with different government policies. You've got 1 good, 1 bad, and 1 medium. Choose one. By luck, the chimpanzee would, at some point, yes, of course, the chimpanzee would choose the bad one at some point, but by luck, the chimpanzee would sometimes get that right. The government right now, guys, it looks like they're just opening them and saying, right, which one's the worst one? Right, and we'll do that one. So I would say that a chimpanzee could run this government better. You know, absolutely, guys, okay? I would say this, you know, they could run this government better. Oh, and Google Uno is saying Rachel Reeves looking to cap salary sacrifice contributions. I don't know what that is. What's a salary sacrifice? A salary sacrifice contribution is when an employee agrees to give a proportion of their salary in exchange for non-cash benefits from their employer. Right, okay. I obviously work for myself. I send invoices. I don't get that option. Most commonly, a larger pension contribution. This lowers the... right, okay, that's a smart way of doing it. This lowers the employee's taxable income and national insurance contributions, while the employer also pays a reduced national insurance. Okay, right. So listen, Googlino, thank you for that. Listen, I didn't realize what this was. So this is a way that employers are managing to skirt round the higher taxes, I think. So if you remember what we were just saying then, guys, look, and I don't know if this is the case or not, I'm speculating, but remember what we were just saying, how if you earn a certain amount, like it could be like if you get, I don't know what it is, like 50, I know 55 grand was one of them. So if you get paid like 54 grand, you get paid, you have to pay a lot less tax. So by sacrificing some of your salary, you're actually getting more money, if that makes sense. Right, I didn't realize, I didn't know what a salary sacrifice was. The money printing for the furlough during the lockdown has cost us all a fortune. It has, guys. You know, I can remember. Like for me, I love a good bag of crisps. I do, guys. I love a good bag of crisps. I do. I'm not gonna lie. The Golden Wonder spring onion, they were my go-to crisps, but now Golden Wonder are doing like a beefy flavor, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, I don't know which one I prefer. I remember when you could buy about like a 6-pack of crisps, and it was like 89 pence. And I was down with that, guys. I was absolutely down with that. And it doesn't seem like it's been 12 months. And it's now £1.35 for 5 bags. Inflation and just everything's going crackers at the moment, guys. Reports say Rachel has also decided against cutting pension lump sum withdrawals. You know what? I actually had this conversation with my dad like a couple of, I think maybe like a couple of years ago. And I was saying to my dad, he was saying, you know, I can take a lump sum out of my pension. He says, and there's quite a lot of money here. I said, look, Dad, to be honest, if I was you, I would take as much out of you. Look, guys, this is not financial advice. I am not qualified to give anyone financial advice. Go and seek a competent financial advisor if you want financial advice. I'm just telling you guys what I said to my dad. I said, look, Dad, to be honest, I would take as much money of that out as you can, because they're going to, the government will just keep changing the pension age. They will be doing some kind of skullduggery. And back then, this was before, Jesus. So this was like this was before COVID, right? So this was before, this was 2029 or before. 2019 or before. And what I said to my dad is, I said, look, Dad, the pension system is about to collapse. It's dilly to swan. Obviously, you think about let me close this down. So if you think about a pension scheme, it's like the biggest Ponzi scheme that there is. So as long as there's more people paying in at the bottom and less people taking out at the top, that's fine. And I think for it to be sustainable, you have to have I think it's obviously it's different for each one, but I think it's like 12 people need to be paying in for everybody that's taking. I think it's something like that. I don't know. That sounds a lot. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But basically, as long as there's more people paying in at the bottom than they're taking out at the top, it's fine. But what's happened is people are starting to live longer. There's less people now paying into pensions because people are thinking, right, well, do you know what? I'm gonna start my own. I'm gonna do my own stuff. So at some point, and this was before COVID, that pension system, and I'm gonna say this now, guys, okay? If the government, if COVID-19 didn't happen, I'm going to speculate that if it didn't happen, our pension systems would have collapsed by now, because they were not, it was untenable. And obviously, I'm not saying that the insurance companies or the pension companies, hatched some dastardly plan to get rid of a load of old and vulnerable people who are claiming pensions. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that there was a clear effect of COVID, because now you have a lot less people claiming those pensions, because unfortunately they're no longer with us. James is saying, I don't bother watching the budget. Let's face it, it's never great. Certainly not with this government. It's just, I do a lot of stuff. In fact, the guy who just texted me, then who I have to call in, like, I can't remember what time it was. You know, he's from Sweden, so I'm going to be speaking with a Swedish guy, and he spoke to a German guy. So I'm going to be speaking to a Swedish guy pretty soon about a conversation he had with a German guy. So I do a lot of, like, you know, international stuff, and it really does make a massive difference, guys. It makes an absolute massive difference, you know, these little things in the budgets. And I can guarantee, ladies and gentlemen, that nobody is wanting to invest in the United Kingdom right now. Absolutely nobody. People want to invest in Poland. People want to invest in, you know, they don't want to invest in the United Kingdom right now. People are just thinking, not a chance. I ain't touching the United Kingdom with a barge pole. And that's not a good thing, because it's driving people into unemployment. Unemployment's driving people into, you know, doing crazy stuff and, you know, potentially crime. Emma Green is saying, of course not, Sean, but they picked the wrong one this time. They got told 6 months ago that they were wrong for doing it, and the Telegraph got wind of it, and here we are. Yeah, so Emma's talking about, do we think that the Donald Trump fake news by the BBC is the only one? And Emma Green is saying, of course not, Sean, but they picked the wrong one this time with Donald Trump. They got told 6 months ago, you know, and yeah, it is fantastic, guys, you know, and a lot of people, you know, there's a phenomenal amount of people, elderly people, people who don't really understand how social media works. In fact, actually, guys, I tried live streaming for you guys. So just a little side quest. Does anyone know how to live stream on YouTube? I don't know how to live stream on YouTube, guys. I'm going to have to figure that out, because I was going to live stream for you yesterday on YouTube. I clicked on the thing and it only gave me an option to upload videos. Anyway, where was we going? Yeah. So there's a lot of people who don't understand how accurate social media is. You know, you've got people walking around live streaming, you know, sharing stuff in real time, and you can see this stuff, the reality. I mean, can you guys remember when the only news feed you got was it News at 10? Bum, bum. Welcome, everybody. This is the BBC for the news at 10. Today, we have got some swizzles and some more skullduggery. Like back then in the early 90s, like, who knows what we were being force-fed? Literally, they could have said anything and you would have believed it. It's a lot more difficult now to, it's a lot more difficult to pull the wool over people's eyes. Oh, hang on a minute. Googleino is saying, suspect arrested after hazardous liquid thrown at a woman. Well, let's have a look at this. Okay, 37 minutes ago from the BBC, and I am going with the BBC, guys, and I get it, you know. Right, let's share this and let's go through this together. Thank you, Googleino, for that. Let's share this and we'll go through together. So this is from the BBC, and I get it, you know, the BBC do fake news, but if I share the BBC, I can't get done for fake news, even if they're sharing fake news. It's wild. Suspect arrested after hazardous liquid thrown at woman. A woman has been arrested after a hazardous liquid was thrown at another woman in Glasgow City. The 46-year-old was taken to hospital for treatment after the incident, which happened on Buchanan Street at about 18:20 on Sunday. Police Scotland said a 51-year-old woman was arrested and charged with assault. She's due to appear. So I wonder what it was. I wonder what happened between these people, you know, and I've got to be clear. It doesn't say what the hazardous substance could be like. I mean, it just says a hazardous substance. It could be like, you know, it could be diesel. It could be petrol. It could be something a lot worse. So let's I don't know what that is. I do think these attacks, and you know what, I don't just think these attacks, I know these attacks are gaining in popularity. And it always, let's just, and I don't know if it is, the BBC, that article didn't tell me what, in fact, let me see if anybody else is reporting on it. Right, the Scottish Sun. So the Sun are saying it was a toxic liquid. 4 minutes ago, the Herald is saying no, they're just saying it. Okay, hazardous. Then yeah, it's. Well, let's see what Scottish Sun's saying, because they're using a different word. So the Scottish Sun, it's a little bit. Sealed off the area, which included Sainsbury's. I mean, it could have been anything, guys. It could have been anything. It could have been some sort of Novichok. It could have been acid. It could have been something more benign. I don't know. But what I will say is, I'll go back to what I was saying then. There's been a massive uptick of these things in London, and people throwing acid on people, and I just think, like, I'm going to ask AI. I'm not going to ask AI. I'm going to ask Grok, because Grok gives you better information. I'm going to ask Grok what the history. What? And where? Right, I'm just asking Grok about acid attacks in the United Kingdom. Right, so acid attacks resurged in 2010s, transforming from domestic vendettas to gang-related violence. Recorded cases doubled from 228 in 2012 to over 450 in London alone. By 2016, peaking in 2017 at 941, earning the UK the unwanted title of acid attack capital of the Western world. So London's the acid attack capital of the Western world. It's the knife crime capital of the Western world. It's the phone snatching capital of the Western world. It's also, it's got a lot of titles, London, and it also got and London also got claimed, like, I think they said London's the best place to live as well. So earning the UK, the UK, not London. Sorry, I do apologize. The UK acid attack capital of the world, with the highest per capita rate globally. Numbers fell to 421 by 2021. Now, that was amid COVID, but rose 69% in 2022 and rose 75% to 1,244 in 2023, with a 10% uptick to 498 physical attacks in 2024 in London. Greater Manchester and West Midlands account for most attacks, often in the most deprived areas. Shifts in motivation, substances, victim profile. Yeah, it does look okay. Right, Grok gives you a lot of information, but wow, I didn't realize how much of an actual problem that is, guys. You know, and I didn't realize that the United Kingdom has the unwanted title of acid attack capital of the Western world. You know what? Let's ask. So I'm asking him, who's the acid attack capital of the world? Because Grok said that London, the United Kingdom, was the acid attack capital of the Western world. So I just asked Grok, who is the acid attack capital of the world? India. So they're saying India is widely regarded. He's saying the information's not, it's not as conclusive, but India is widely regarded as having the highest incidence worldwide, with at least one attack daily. An estimate suggesting over 1,000 cases, unreported cases each year. So they're saying India. Yeah, it looks like India and Bangladesh. So there we have it, guys. You want to put those two things together and say Indians or Bangladeshis are more likely to be the culprits. You know, that I think putting those two things together would be a fair analysis. Diamond Geezer is saying India is much larger than the UK, though. Yeah. So when I looked at Grok, then, guys, I'll be quite clear. Grok did say very difficult to give you a comprehensive answer because the numbers are difficult to go with. But that's what they said. India and Bangladesh. So I'm just going to go with that. James avoids London like the plague. He used to love going there when he was younger and worked in the middle of London for years, but now avoids it like the plague. Yeah, I do as well. I actually, I was actually supposed to be going to London today, and I managed to dwindle out of that. And we're doing not with this guy. We're going to be doing a voice call later, a video call later. Right, let me jump on here a second, guys, and then right, listen, guys, I'm going to go through the crux of this live stream, and then I will begin to close this. Yeah, then I'll begin to close this down. So we really don't have long left before this budget. We've literally got one more payday before Christmas. And I don't know if that's getting your little tickers running and you're getting excited to put the tree up. I'm going to say that when this budget comes, it's coming at the worst possible time, I think. What is it, 26th of November? In fact, let me see what date, because this may actually be payday. It could be payday. Calendar. So I'll just do it with my phone. Let me just have a look here, guys. Okay, so the 26th is on a Wednesday. Is that when the budget is? I think it's on the 26th, isn't it? It's not over 27th. Whatever, it doesn't matter. So that's on a Wednesday. And payday will be on the... Do you know what? Give me a second. Yeah, when's it? 26th of November. So this is what's going to happen, guys. These are the dates. So you can imagine, you know, so we can try and predict public mood now. So you can try and predict public mood now. So we're going to have this budget on the 26th, which is a Wednesday. Thursday, Friday is going to be last payday before Christmas. So you can imagine the public mood now, can't you? You can imagine like the feeling of absolute dread that's going to be you know, replicated on the high street. You know, and you know, by that I'm saying that most people, well, a lot of people, most people, I'd say, most people that work for a big company or something, they will get paid on the last working day of the month, which is Friday the 28th. And then, you know, that's it. No more salary going into their bank until after Christmas, after the 25th of December. So that's where we're heading into, guys. Okay. Just for context, you know, the United States, the Americans, big old DJT is saying that they've got enough money now and they are going to give everybody a dividend of at least $2,000 per person. That's because they're lowering taxes and taking money from other countries. That's the only way that you get more money, guys. Every time, that's the only way that you get more money. So, guys, listen, I'm going to start to close this down now. Obviously, I don't know what's coming in this budget. I do know it's coming on the 26th. I do know that it doesn't look like it's going to be good. I would say that fuel, petrol and diesel definitely are going to go up because they're going to want this green agenda. I'm going to say tobacco is going to go up as well. I've not even had any of my coffee yet. I came off TikTok so I could have my coffee. So not food. Maybe, yeah, I mean, the givens for me are going to be petrol, diesel. Green agenda, you know, it's going to make sense to put the price of petrol and diesel up. Excuse me. Tobacco, you know, they're going to say, oh, we want people to be healthy. We want, you know, so the price of tobacco will undoubtedly go up, I would say. And the price of alcohol, again, that is a given. Now, the main two things there for me are the price of fuel and alcohol. I don't smoke, but I drive, and I understand the bigger consequences of the price of alcohol going up. So when you put the price of diesel up, for example, and you think, oh, it's not going to affect me because I don't have a diesel car. Well, guess what? Trucks, trains, all those delivery drivers, basically, that deliver those products to those stores, they have to pay more for their delivery costs now. So their haulage costs go up. So guess what? Their haulage costs go up. Their invoice to the shop goes up. Their invoice goes up. Guess what? The price of those goods goes up. So to me, that the price of fuel going up, it's kind of one of those things that if you don't understand how things work on a national scale, a lot of people will think, oh, yeah, well, I've got an electric car. Doesn't matter, sweet cheeks. That electric car was probably delivered by a diesel truck. You see where I'm going with that? So your dollar stores, your like B&M, Home Bargains, Poundland, whatever, you know, everywhere. But I think those places are going to be hit particularly hard because they import a lot of stuff from China. They import a lot of cheap stuff, and that needs, that needs massive amounts of haulage. Let us post online. Go on online retail. That's going to go up. That all comes from diesel and petrol because they all get delivered by cars mainly. And then we've got the price of alcohol that I think is going to go up as well. And when you put the price of alcohol up, you literally put the price of anything up, everything. You're going to force a lot of people into unemployment because a lot of people work in the, hospitality. So when beer goes up, overheads go up, everything's going up, just with those two things. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, right, I am going to be closing this down, guys. I'm going to close this down now. Last night we were talking about, I don't know if you guys were on the live stream last night, but we was talking about we were talking about something. We was talking about how mathematically the United Kingdom is doomed, absolutely doomed with the amount of migrants that are coming over now. Somewhere, someone has got a spreadsheet and they're saying, right, at this point, it's over. Now, I don't know what that is, but I spoke about that last night on the live stream, and I thought I should do a standalone video on that. So I will be jumping on that, guys, and I will be doing a standalone video on that straight after this. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to close this down now. You guys have been fantastic as always. And you know what, guys? I'm not going to lie. I think you guys are the best looking guy. I think you guys are the best looking lot. You really are. You really are the best looking lot. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging out with me this morning. Make sure to check out my video that I do later on. If you've not done so already, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share my stuff. And I will see you guys later.